Welcome back to Antimatter Chemistry, and today I had a plan. To make an awesome upgrade to this manual bone paper prismarine shuriken, and it failed. It failed entirely. I was going to make Enderium. We need Enderium anyway for RFTools, that's coming up soon, and I was going to cast that into a knife blade and then replace it, because I think it was in Project Ozone 3, you can use Enderium to make an awesome shuriken. Basically, it doesn't ever drop. If I just have a look here, you see that the blades sort of drop over time and it drops and hits the ground. Well, with Enderium in Project Ozone 3, it doesn't drop. It just goes straight in a straight line and goes really fast. Unfortunately, not in this mod pack. The extension to presumably Tinker's Construct doesn't exist here, so I can't do that with Enderium. So sad. Anyway, I'll just have to deal with my, well, pretty good, but 11 attack damage shuriken as it is. So, yeah, anyway, that'll do. So, Enderium we're going to use anyway, so it was a good thing I actually created it. And we're going to be getting on with some quests first of all. We need to get to RFTools, which means we get all the fun of custom dimensions. What I don't have in the pack, and by the way, if you know any better shuriken than this, 11 attack damage, obviously we just have to keep leveling it up to get more, but you can see it's 8,000 XP to get more. Yeah, do let me know in the comments. Also, if you know any good way of cross-dimensional power transfer. The only thing I'm thinking of right now is just transporting lava across dimensions and using that to power it, because RFTools requires power to keep dimensions open, and the more crazy the dimension you create, well, the crazier the power requirements, and yeah, that there's a lot of stuff to get done there. So you could start off with something simple like a mining world without the disadvantages of the deep dark, i.e. If you don't light things up, you get all kinds of problems. And yeah, so let's get started with Dimension Builder. Let's just see, what are we missing for this thing? Let me just add it to favorites. It needs a nether pearl, obviously. So it needs a couple of Eyes of Ender, which shouldn't be a trouble at all. And it does need a machine frame, which also shouldn't be a trouble. So we have Dimension Builder. Cool, so that's that quest done, and yeah, we get rewards, we get some loot crates. I would say this pack needs to perhaps consider better rewards. Maybe you could add, well, not necessarily Avaritia, that would be quite insane rewards. I've added another set of this just so I can dump stuff into here from when I'm out traveling. But maybe some other mod pack or some other mod that you can get good rewards from. Not quite so sure. Anyway, yeah. So let's get on with things. We need to get a dimension builder, and unfortunately, yeah, this builds a dimension and powers it when the dimension is ready. That's not all you need for RFTools. You need about 6 or 7 other blocks, which I never remember the name of. So we need to I need to go and refresh my memory on them. Anyway, we need to get 32 dimensional shards that are only found in RFTools dimensions, and they're usually found at random. You get lots of like I think I'm not sure if it's an ore or if it's crystals. It's one of the two, and we need to go and find them. It does say also craft a wyvern core, and that needs Nether Stars, draconic cores, draconic evolution stuff, basically. And to get that, draconium ore is different in this pack. Draconium ore requires dimensional shards. Well, draconium ingot requires dimensional shards. So it's definitely forcing you through RFTools. There's no two ways about it. If you want the super OP stuff in Draconic Evolution, you have to go through other dimensions to get it. Okay, so for the next block, we're going to need a few more things. Same sort of setup down here. We're going to need some paper, so we're just going to make some paper first of all, and a few of those. And we're also going to need some titanium, I think, because we need ink sacs specifically. We're going to go for a dimension in Scriber. There we go. And it needs specifically ink sacs. You can't replace it with just like pulverized coal. So to do that, you have to make it, and it goes from titanium oxide. So if you put pulverized charcoal into your dissolver, you will get basically titanium oxide out. And if I unlock this recipe, I've been making some lead for something else. You put that in there, and you start getting ink sacs, which is good. So we don't need that many of them, but if we have them, that's cool. Let's just put this all in there and leave that there. Okay, so dimension in Scriber. And that's the second block. Third one, I guess we're going to need matter transmitters and receivers. I did get a commenter saying you can set multiple home, and obviously I've been using /home to get home. I'm largely using that to skip the walk back from places. wherever possible. I'm just skipping the walk back so I can get more recording time in recording with you. I don't, however, want to use it to sort of to replace the ability and stuff like, for example, yeah, I mean, in Draconic Evolution, there is a portal ability, and that is sort of a nice upgrade to have naturally rather than use the / set multiple homes. So we could set, you know, for example, I guess out to the Nether or out to anything like that. Now I want to use the mods for that. I'm largely just using the home just as a neat return option rather than going jumping in the end into the fountain or jumping into the portal in the Nether, etc. if I'm far away, you know, that sort of thing. Later on, we'll also replace that use of / home with the Draconic Evolution upgrade. We'll get to that once we get to it, but for the time being, so I am going to use the proper way of doing this. There needs to be a way of transmitting yourself out there, like a teleport block, and the way of getting back. Now, the way of getting back, normally I would use / home, but because this is mod specific, and it's important for you guys to know it, then I'm just going to show it on screen. So we need transmitters, and let's just see, matter transmitters. We're going to need some more of those machine frames, aren't we? Which means I'm probably going to need more steel, yeah. And steel is, oh, wow, okay, so I don't have any left. Well, I definitely don't have any left. So we just want some iron, and I'm just going to convert half of that over into steel. We're probably going to use it. And we'll get some coal as well. And I think we just may be able to directly convert, did it not say we can just directly convert that now without pulverizing it first? So in the alloy furnace, yep, that works perfectly fine, and obviously there's a bit too much coal there, but that's fine. That's going to produce some steel for me. So with that steel on the go, I could do with speeding that up some. Oh, in fact, I can speed that up. Did I take the upgrade out? I'll probably put them in the manufactory or something. I did. Yeah, to get blaze powder. You can come out, you can go in, and that's much, much faster. Good. So I only want, well, I'm going to need about 12, I guess, and I've got 3 in the system, so I'm going to need about 9 here. So we need 2 transmitters, 1 receiver, and I'm reading off the wiki here, a dialing device and an empty dimension tab. So yeah, there's a few bits and pieces to go for. Matter receiver, I presume, is exactly the same. That's just a machine frame, and yeah, it's the upside down version of the matter transmitter. Good. A dialing device. Is there anything specifically weird about that dialing device? No, that's nice and straightforward. And dimension tab. Yeah, again, trivial. So I'm just going to craft all of those off camera, and I'll bring you back for construction. With those crafted, I put the matter receiver down, and we're just going to name this to be basically home. We can call it whatever we like, but home. Can I not even capitalize? I can capitalize. Home arrivals, okay? And that is fine. You obviously, if you're on multiplayer, you can change this to be private, etc. But I'm not going to worry about it. That's stored. We're also going to have a home transmitter as well, and I guess we can put it here, I suppose. Yep, so let's just get one of our transmitters, and we're going to use both transmitters here. You'll see why in a minute. We're just going to put this one down here and let them both gather power. They do store power, so once they've got 100k RF, they'll keep it basically when you break them. So this one is going to be my my home arrivals. I'm going to move probably this cable or something, but sorry, home departures. Home departures. And we'll leave that alone. And then this is, I think the first world we should probably create is probably a mining world, something like that. That seems reasonable to create. It should be a reasonable power as well. The other option is something like a lava world. Lava world. Let's just call it first world for the moment, because I don't know actually what I'm going to do with it right now. So I've got call to something, and that's fine. Let me just get my dialer. And we'll pop that down somewhere, maybe here. Yeah. And then here we are. So here we have our first world. And the first world, this is pretty much going to be the block that's in the other world that brings us back here. So I should probably rename that first world departure. Yeah. Okay, and I suppose we could all, it's got cut off now. Fine, okay. So we want to, I guess, dial that to home arrivals and dial it. Okay, so dial is okay. So if I go on here, and we get teleported. Good. That's working, and of course you get this lovely beam effect when that's actually dialed. However, that may be taking power while it's done so, but it's fine, I guess. So now it's dialed. We'll just wait for it to fill, and then I'll basically pick it up in my inventory, and it's permanently set to the arrivals. And we'll, in fact, let's just demonstrate that. Hopefully that is still correct. So if we put it here, you'll see it's got power 137 KRF, and it takes us back here. So it takes 7 KRF, and now you can pretty much use those if you want as alternatives to /home if you want to carry one with you. But the only problem is it stays wherever you left it. So yeah, there is that. Whereas it's just going to be the entry and exit point pretty much for our new worlds. So I'll leave that to power up. In the meantime, I also got a Reddit thread I took a look at that said the power cells, again from RFTools, are capable of cross-dimension power transfer. So instead of carrying lava around everywhere, I could just dump these and have them work. So let's just try that. I want to make 2. Emeralds are pretty expensive in this pack, but I need to make 2 anyway. And I want to just test it out. So if we put one, say, there, and already that's looking Tesseracty. So let's put the other one down just next to some leadstone flux duct or something. Put it there. Okay. And then this one, I want it in. Set all size to accept energy. Okay. Yep, that's filling. And this one, are you receiving out? I want to be able to link the 2 together. Or am I going to need some infusion? I'm clearly going to need something. Link a power card to card on the left. Yeah, and maybe we need a linking card of some kind. So, card. Do we have a card? Power cell card. Used to connect a power cell multi-block. This isn't really a multi-block. But hey, I guess we can just create one. Yeah, so I want to see if that's cross-dimensional way of linking. Used to connect to power cell multi-block. It's definitely not multi-block, so I need something else. I need to be able to connect the 2 together. And yep, these cards are used for that purpose. If you just grab one and right-click it in, then if you basically that sets a link ID. This other one I've already set, but if you didn't have it already set, it should set unlink by default. Put it in here, and it will basically connect it with the same link ID. At that point, these two cards become connected, and then we can just basically right-click, or just put it in manually, but right-click this on here, and you'll see this is now actually connected. So it technically can input and output 5,000 RF per tick, and well, it says it costs 0% at the moment, but let's just make sure everything stays retained. Yes, it does. Yeah, everything's nice. So this is an output block, and we have an input block. So we have pretty much power transfer, so we can put our power plant wherever we like. Speaking of wherever we like, at this point we need to maybe get some dimlets, and I've got, let's just see, at least 3 stacks worth. I then set up our refined storage system down here, the sort of starting point that you get. I'm just going to keep this pretty much just for dimlets and stuff like that. It's just like a large chest pretty much. You see this one has, let's just see, is there another storage disk in my system upstairs? Because if so, I'll just dump them in here. May as well keep this separate. So storage. Did we get given, we got a speed upgrade? I don't really want a speed upgrade. Fine. So let's just pop down here, and then we've got to open these loot crates. Oh my, this might be a bit spammy, but we just get the parcels first of all. That's fine. So if I just open them all, we'll just get parcels for all of them. Okay, and that means we've got a lot of parcels. So right click to get the gifts. So if you right click, you'll see I start getting different sort of controls. So I'm going to just go and empty all these out and dump them in the system as much as I can. And we'll see what options we get available for dimensions. I removed the refined storage system because it can only store 1,000 items with this default storage disk. And anyway, it's fine because we got enough space in the Dimlet workbench, which is the next thing you want to create, just to basically store lots of stuff in here for now. I can't really craft anything just yet without some more work, but why don't we just see what a random world's like before we actually get into more structured ones. So if we have a look over here, well, now I've put down the dimension inscriber and the dimension builder. Well, Dimension Builder can store an awful lot of power. Dimension Scriber doesn't need power at all. I've put our anti-dimension tab in here. And if I just type in, what are we going to call this? Rando 1. And let's just store. And this is a realized dimension tab now. And it's basically says creation cost and maintenance cost is 10 RF per tick. So it's going to be a cheap dimension. And if we drop it in here, it will start building. You can see that is done, hopefully. Yeah, it's done. So we'll leave that in there. Maintenance cost is 310 RF per tick now. And current power is going down. 310 RF per tick is a lot more than we actually have. So I'm going to take that back out of there for a second. Wait for this to build up a buffer, and then we'll go and see what this world is for 310 RF per tick. To do that, we're just going to basically connect to this and dial, and that will basically make our transmitter send us over there. But 310 RF per tick, that's quite a lot. So we want to, first of all, I guess, improve our power. And we did use the, what are we using at the moment? The Ender utilities, or extra utilities. Extra utilities to magmatic generators, but I did get a commenter, thank you very much, saying, yeah, the magmatic dynamos are probably better. You can upgrade them more, and they pretty much use the same stuff, so we can make this with some silver, which I don't have any of, but silver is, I've got plenty of ores around, I just never really process it because I don't really use that much silver. We're just processing some gold, let's get rid of that. You normally go through here because some ores like gold and iron produce other stuff other than gold. For example, this one produces copper, iron produces tungsten, etc. So yeah, and we get a little bit of silver as well. So that's good for that. And now I'm processing lots of iron. Oh, it's nearly done. That's fine. Let's just get all of that out there. And then this can just basically process. There we go. And let's get some, unlock that and get some silver going. Is that not producing silver? Are you not producing silver now? You decided just, no, have I crashed? 1 second. No, I didn't crash. I just basically locked it on no recipe. Didn't even know that was a thing. Anyway, we have silver and lots of it. That's fair enough to get us what we need. So magmatic dynamo then. We're going to want probably a few of these. So why don't we just dump that in the system and get 4 of those. Magmatic. And we're going to be upgrading these as well. So we're going to need some Invar gears, some iron, some Invar, and that's pretty much it. So Invar is the order of the day. Do I have any Invar? How much Invar do I actually have? Invar, not Inar, Invar, please. Just 2 apparently. Okay, so we need some iron and nickel. Fine, iron. I've got some in my inventory, that's fine. And some nickel. No, but I have some nickel ore somewhere, so I'll go and sort that one out. And we'll just dump this rest of it in the system. And where's my nickel ore? It's around here somewhere. And there I should have some more Invar gears. I made a few extras just in case we need even more, but we'll be switching across to a different power mechanism pretty soon, so it's not going to be terribly useful for the moment. So we're going to get those magmatic dynamos up and running. We're going to get 4 of them. 2, 3, 4. Yep, that'll do. And we're also going to get some upgrade kits, because we have some of those from quests, and we're also going to want some of the reinforced upgrade kits, but we'll come back to that in a minute. We're also going to need some basically transmission coils, and we don't need those to get started, so we may as well just lay this out to get started. Do I have any? I have a little bit of leadstone flux duct. We're going to upgrade this as well, but for the moment, why don't we just put it, well, we'll just put them around here. I need access to that block occasionally, so I don't want to put it there, so let's just put them down. Let's put them in the floor. Okay, and that will do. Let's just put them so they're facing into the lead. Oh, that's annoying. I need to be able to face that. Can I just get rid of you for a second? Will you face this way? I guess we can move them around with the thingy. What's it called? Crescent hammer, maybe? Will you let me rotate? You will. Good. I like them facing that way. Thank you. There we go. There we go. Okay, good. and I'll replace the floor later with something better. But for now, that will do. And then we just need to basically insert lava into them. And for that, we're going to need another one of those, basically another one of these. But I guess I could just replace that. So let's just put down some hardened fluid duct. And I'm going to need a servo for this, but I can just hide this all the way under the floor. And let's just get a servo. Did I make a servo? I did make a servo. So let's just grab you. Okay. We may not even need a servo given that this is allows auto output, but let's just put it here. Okay. Feed that out. Yep, it doesn't even need a servo. That's fine. There we go. So each of these should be producing power. And it doesn't tell me how much power, but I think it's like 60 by default, something along those sort of lines. But we are going to improve that. So I'm going to get hardened upgrade kits. And let's also put in a reinforced upgrade kit. And then we're going to want to make augments. Now, there is augments that will produce more power, and there's augments that will be more intelligent. So one will reduce the amount of power when the system is at capacity, and then the other one will just produce more power. So more power is first, and we will just make more of these. So I want 4 more of those, and then I want 4 more of these. So I'm going to run out of silver. Remember when I said I didn't need silver? Well, I lied. We're going to need more silver. So I'm going to get that out of the system, AG, and just produce more of that. And that won't be hard. Silver, log the recipe, and away it goes. 8, 12, 16. Okay. There it goes. So let's just get 3 of those. That's 4 of those. And then once I have the reinforced kits, I'll be able to use the other one, which is this. Excitation field limiter. We need lead nuggets and electrum. Lead... Let's just make the augments now. So I'm just going to get those. How many actual electrum do I have? I have it just about enough. Fine. We're then going to need the reinforced upgrade kits. How much do they cost? More electrum. So I need lead. I need gold and silver and some silver gears and some hardened glass. Yeah, let's leave those alone for now. I just want to produce more RF, please. That's the most important upgrade. We'll upgrade one of them with the sort of limiter. So there we go. Transmission coils. And let's just drop that in there. These should be limited, augment slots. Yeah, only 1 augment slot until they go to reinforce mode. So we should be producing quite a lot of power with these already. And we'll see. There it goes. 160 RF per tick. This one's 120 RF per tick with just 1. Why are you 120? You are 160. I guess that field limiter also improves things. Yeah, it must improve things, even though it's supposed to be a throttle. It seems to be doing a better job. So these 120 hour per tick. Realistically, though, we want more and more upgrade kits on them. So yeah, that's something to get going. But if we got 120 here, and that's going to be 360, 460, 520. We should have more than enough to power our dimension, aside from other things that are drawing on the system. So if we just put this dimension back, are you going to be able to produce enough power to keep this thing going? Current power is dropping. Yeah, maybe I better do those upgrades. Well, yeah, the power's dropping because it's powered, basically. So because it's realized it's draining power. But if you look at that, that's quite a lot of power it's got in there. So that should last for quite a while. Oh, we dialed. Let's dial home departures to Rando 1. Dial. In fact, let's dial once. Can I interrupt it? Not favorited. Yeah, okay. So now this should take us to our new dimension. Make sure you have your transmitter and a power cell. In that case, we can also use /home, but then, you know, we want to try and use the mod specific stuff. So let's just put those in our inventory. I'm just going to dump the rest in our system for now. Put this here, dump that there. So we're pretty much ready with our usual sort of bits and pieces that we need. Yeah, all looks fine. And let's just put those in my hotbar. Off we go to a new dimension. Start teleportation. Whoosh, we're in a new dimension. Okay, and this is a little odd, has to be said. Looks like a chunk loading problem. While we're here, we've also got night vision, mining fatigue, and slowness. So yeah, we have some detrimental effects. But if we want to make sure we're safe while we're here, we want to basically put a power cell down and our transmitter. That will take us home. This one will continue to power everything because it's being drawn from our other system. You'll see that is increasing in power. So now, pretty much, aside from the sort of generation... red sun. Is there more than one sun? No, just one sun. Apart from the generation sort of powering of the dimension itself, we have a safe way back. Now, if the dimension runs out of power, that's a different thing entirely. But for now, we can have a look around, and this is a random dimension. So we're going to want to look around in here and see if we can find any of those crystals. And while you're in RFTools dimensions, you'll find these, well, places, huts, whoops, and we will have different things in them. So we'll find different dimlets and for different things. Fair enough. Let's pop those out and they'll become useful if we want to craft other dimensions. So material dimlet, lapis, terrain in vertigo, and light grey stained glass as a material, and some other bits and pieces here. So it's worth picking up this stuff up while you're out here. And yep, we continue to explore. So I've been out, collected some stuff from another hut, and that's pretty good. Is that one I've already been to? Was that the one I'd already... Yes, it is the one I've already been to. And we're going to just head back to the home point, not because we're going to head home, but because we want some of the shards now that I've done a bit of exploring. It's a really nice world, apart from the mining fatigue. We get night vision, but we've already got that anyway, and we get slowness. So both of those effects aren't great. So I don't necessarily want this world permanently, but I do want the dimension shards from it. So, and we also get some passive animals spawning. So that is that. And the sun doesn't appear to be moving, which is also a good thing. So from here, we need to dig down. We're at Y level 80 roughly at our start point, and we need to go a lot further down. So yeah, as normal, we're able to just dig, although we have mining fatigue. We need to dig down and head down below about Y level 40 or 50 or something like that. I'll dig down anyway, extremely slowly for me. And this is one of the reasons why I have my dev null on me. So we're just going to get rid of a lot of this stuff, and I'll see you down there. And here we are at the bottom. I basically took that realized dimension tab, put it back in the inscriber, extracted it and stored it again. So it comes back with the same ID. So the same world is here, but I don't get the mining fatigue. Or at least I didn't. So that's fine. And here at the very bottom of the world, well, there's pretty much no bedrock. So we just want to make sure that that's nice and safe before I actually come down here. I don't really want to fall through into the void. Even though I've got creative flight, yeah, let's just cover that little area up, and let's go looking for some shards now. There should be somewhere between 1 and 40, presumably. Dimensional shard ore. Can we see that? Dimensional shard ore doesn't give us any kind of recipe for that, so I guess we just got to go hunting for a Y level. And here we are, just off. That's our shaft right there, and here we have dimensional shards. So we have those available, and we got 8 by default. How many did we need for the quest? We need 32, so I need to get more of those, but I'll meet you back at the base once I've got some more of this found. Okay, back here at home, and you can see my AE2 system's dead because this is drawing all the power. Now, if you have a look, it's barely reducing, but it is still reducing. So because we don't need that dimension right now, I can just put it in here and press extract, and it will stop, presumably consuming power. And here it is, power just being generated again. Now, that dimension isn't erased. If you try and press store again, this will come back with the same dimension, but all of the area you've taken out by mining is put back again. So it's like a reset. And it seems that also keeps the power cell on the other side, as well as the return block. So yeah, kind of useful if you actually do need that. And if someone can correct me if I'm wrong, and that needs to be done another way. Anyway, some other things I wanted to do, I did put the augments in below, and it seems, just to double check, that this is the 120 to 160 upgrade. Nothing to do with the other augment, it's just to do with the actual this upgrade level. So reinforced upgrade kit not only upgrades the amount of augments, but seems also augments the amount of power these things can output. Now, right now, these are outputting to leadstone flux duct, and I would like something better than that. So that's next step, and it's quite a simple step. We just create with some, well, I can't do it right now, but with some electrum and some hardened glass, which is just some pulverized lead, pulverized obsidian. You make these redstone energy flux ducts, put them in a fluid transposer with some redstone coming in from a magma crucible, and you get redstone energy flux duct. So at this point, you can then replace all of your leadstone with redstone, and that will basically let more power be transmitted. 9,000 RF per tick up to, which is more than enough for what we need it for right now. So yeah, and we could also put these back in again, I suppose, and connect them up underneath the floor or something like that. The things here, so I guess we can just put them in here. There's no harm in them. They're not particularly upgraded, but it just means a lot nicer sort of setup than what we have right now. Let's get all of that. Yep. And we'll just pop them in on the floor. And we want the upgrade speeds wherever they went. Yep. Let's put one in each one. I'm missing an upgrade on one of them, but that's fine. And then below we'll just use the hardened flux duct just to feed in lava to these as well. And I'll need to get some power, so I'll need to reroute some power around from this. But yeah, I can just obviously put some ducting this way once we have it, and that's good. So we've got 32 energy flux duct. I'm going to go and replace as much of this as possible as I can. And I'm also just going to move this, because this is our battery, it's also our backup. We're just going to put it right there, I think, and then everything else will feed off it. So that can go back in. This will just be outputting only to the right. Everything else is input. It's not doing much right now. Oh, hang on. It's not doing much right now. It's being drawn out of there. We may need to make multiple tiers of that. I can't remember if it has multiple tiers. But in the meantime, it's just an easy job just to quickly get rid of all of you and replace them with the redstone version. So at least, I mean, the fission block is not going by the battery, but otherwise it's going to work fine, I think. So yeah, we'll see once everything catches up how well that does. In the meantime, I have the quest complete for mine up to 32 dimensional shards, and we get to loot crate and another loot crate, which I don't care about. But that means I can now cast draconium ingots from obviously Draconic Evolution. And I did gather a stack of these rather than 32, just in case I need more. I figure out we're probably going to need more over time, but I think we need a better dimension than that. Oh, there's my other upgrade speeds. I think we need a better dimension than that. So if you guys have any dimensional suggestions, put them in down in the comments below. We ideally want something that will produce lots of dimensional shards, so we're unlocked from Draconic Evolution, and probably, well, I may do a lava dimension as well. It just depends what dimlets I get, or I can craft from the dimlet parts that we have. So yeah, so I'm going to do a bit of cleaning, tidying, and we'll see you in a second. Okay, all tidied up, and now we've got the next step, which is just to craft some draconium ingots. And here's a problem. So we need purple glowstone dust, which is not terrible. Just needs purple dye, which is probably just redstone and lapis or something. Or, red pigment. Yeah, same thing. And glowstone, easy. Draconium dust. Well, you might say, hey, just get some draconium ore. You fly out into the end. You head to where the asteroids are sort of suspended in midair or mid-void. But it says generation disabled, drops disabled. I'm going to check it anyway, but if that is disabled, then we're going to have a problem, because the only other way of actually doing this is to actually get pristine Ender Dragon matter, which needs a basically Ender Dragon data model to be filled. And yeah, I don't have one of those. I have sort of it has no kills in it. 0 kills. So I could go through the trials, or I could just kill 6 Ender Dragons. The limitation here is with End Crystals, because you need 4 per Ender Dragon restart, basically. And that needs gas tier, and it needs Nether Stars, and, well, gas tiers, can we just create those? Or I could just get, a gas data model. That would work. Is there any other way of getting them? No, not particularly. Well, I could craft it from hellish matter. That would actually work. Hellish matter. But that's not the limitation. The limitation is the Nether Stars. Now, I do have down here, let's just get some hellish matter, and I do have some. I have one pristine wither matter, and that makes into basically one Nether Star. I now have a total of 9 of these, so I can only respawn the dragon twice, even if I get all the gas tiers. So I'm going to create those gas tiers and get bits and pieces for that. It was just sugar and was it nether wart or spider eyes? Let's take a few spider eyes and see if that's the case, and then we can just get some sugar cane. There we go. And now we should be able to make the end crystal. Gas tiers. Yep, it is 3 of each of those. So I'll just dump those in the system and we'll just get lots of gas tiers. That's more than enough. Don't need any more than that. And we just need the rest. So that's 1 end crystal. And I'm out of glass, but you get the idea. I just need 4 end crystals. And of course, that means we need to head over here and resurrect the thing. So 1 and 2, 3, and step outside, 4. And hopefully that will start it. Yep. Hello again. Time to kill you again. So yeah, as normal, we need to kill the dragon. And we're going to need to kill it 6 more times. Come on, take off. Whenever you want to. There you go. And there we go. So as normal, we get everything there and we just grab our magnet and have that pull everything in once it spawns. I've got to do that 5 more times, but of course we can do that between the episodes and I get lots and lots of XP for this, which I'm more than happy about, and an extra dragon egg should be good. We also get dragon scales and we get a little bit of draconium dust, so technically I could create 1 draconium ore, but that's not terribly helpful. Do I not get an extra dragon egg? Oh, cheap. Oh, yeah, I do. Yeah, I do. Good. Okay, so if we just get some torches, I get another dragon egg, which means I can probably make a dragon egg mill, and around we go with that. Yeah, let's get some torches, and 1, 2, 3, 4, and let's just make sure you come with me. There we go. So once I get more nether stars, I can create more ender dragons, and around I go for that. For the moment, let's head home. And we're done for today, I think. So today we've got RFTools done. You're able to generate random dimensions, and some of them may be much worse than the one I actually ended up with. But you just have to choose and see what happens. We'll probably get to some more structured dimensions later once I craft a bit more of that. But in the meantime, we've got an extra dragon egg we can use. We've got a little bit of chronic dust and this dragon scale. It does make good armor. You can then put regular enchant on it. The full set gives you flight without the need for GP and other bits and pieces. You can see that chest piece is 20 armor toughness and 12 armor, whereas my current one is 7 and 10. So yeah, it's a little different. You have lots of different effects on this. You take your own choice really as to what you actually want to use. I quite like the current armor, but we'll probably get into just some other stuff later. And that's pretty good. So how many? I can probably resurrect it 1 more time, and then I'm probably going to be out. Yes, that's right. I'm going to be out. So I need to wait for the loot fabricator or the simulation chamber to cook things up, which is limited on power delivery at the moment. If I have a look here, whoops, I need to make sure I empty that. It pretty much drains the power, if I remember rightly, once it actually starts. So as long as this has got maybe a power buffer, maybe that will... No, it's still draining the power. That's fine, even with the world turned off. So I will have to probably add more of these and get even more power production being done from lava. Anyway, I will leave it there for today. Hopefully you liked everything you see. If you did, press on the like button, press the bell if you want notifications, if you're particularly a subscriber. More importantly than all of that, do leave comments for other people who are playing through, as you tend to do, of course. Well done to everyone who has already. Thanks a lot for watching, and I'll see you next time.